right? A man who is a good leader will greatly influence a woman in many, many ways, whereas a woman doesn't have as much influence on a man. Like a good woman can definitely improve a man's life and inspire him, but he's the initiator. He's the one who plants the seeds. The woman is like the fertile soil, right? And he plants the seed and he waters and nurtures that seed and it grows into whatever fruit that is produced from that is a direct result of what the care he's given it, right? And the same thing, like I said, if we look at the mirror analogy, a woman is a reflection of the man that she's with. And so I think for a lot of guys that are worried about, some guys are like, oh, well, you just need to get a passport and go to other countries. And it's like, no.
Don't even get me started on all that.
It's like, if I understand that this is a world where a lot of the morals and like common sense have been abandoned, right? And that we're living in a super liberal kind of society. I think it's swinging back the other way a little bit, but it's always going to be a pendulum of extremes, right? You're always going to have super crazy conservative people and super crazy liberal people, and it's going to swing back and forth, and it's never going to be in a sensible place, right? So you just have to understand that that you as a man have to have your values and your mission and who you are as a man and stand in that. And then women that you meet, they will tend to conform more to your values if you have strong values and you're a strong man.
Yeah,
and
I
so
do think you still
that.
have to be compatible though. Like
I agree.
Like maybe you can convert a woman who's like the extreme to what you're saying, but at the same time, I think it is important to let men know that compatibility is important too, because then he might get frustrated if he is being this person, but he's aligned with somebody that is also like pretty firm in what they're going to do. And, you guys kind of clash, that it might not work out where she just totally changes her mind because
no, that's
we are very compatible with each other on top of that. And plus you treat me very well. I treat you very well. And so it does fall into this like equilibrium and, sort of thing. And so I think that's important. And I think the respect thing too, which women will respect men more if they have something to stand for and they aren't just like jerks or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing I feel like as women, like guys don't really know how to do it the right way. Right. And so I guess I just wanted to
I think that's a good point.
I think saying that you could change any woman is
that's
not it.
That's not what I'm saying, but I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
Because I just
because you also have to filter, right? As a man, like you should be cutting her loose if she doesn't have a strong enough pull that she is pulling towards you and seeing you as a leader and looking up to you, then that's not the one for you, right? But a woman that does, that sees your value, she's going to start to move in your direction, in sync with you, right? And so that's why it's important for a man to be a leader and to have his own value and not to worry about these things, right? Like I said, it's like if you worry and say, okay, well, all these women are doing all these things. Well, yeah, if they find the right man and you're the right man, some of these women would gladly give that up and look for a better way. They just don't. Again, we're not talking about the struggle of women on this episode, but we could do a whole episode talking about the struggle of women because, you're well acquainted with it. I'm well acquainted with it through you and through other women that I've talked to. And
yeah, but you think, again, you think you know everything, but there's really not everything. But that's why I wanted you to be able to talk about the guy's perspective because I understand I feel like a little bit more than even most women, but I still know I don't know the full picture. Right. And I also know that no man could ever understand the full picture of a woman either. So it's like, and again, I think that also goes back to why like we're kind of fighting the same battle, like men are upset about the same things that women are upset by, but they're just a little different. Like they just look different because men and women are different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and I think the other thing that men need to understand is that like they're in their 20s and they're getting upset because it's not fair. Well, believe me, the playing field will be leveled. Okay.
Well, men mature slower than women do. And so it does take them a little bit more time typically to get their shit together before they're even ready for a relationship. Like they think they are
exactly
fresh out of like high school or whatever, early 20s, but they don't even, a lot of them don't even have their careers figured out or like what they want to do with their life because they're already getting in this sort of like hopeless place, right? And then it just gets worse, right? Because then they get hopeless about one thing and then they get hopeless about the next thing and then it's just like, then like what do they have to live for? And it's like,
they need to,
you gotta rein it back in.
They need to be patient because timing is everything, right? Mm-hmm. Women start with a very high value and their value declines over time in the sexual marketplace. Men start with a very low value and they can build their value, but some men don't. So they never reach any kind of value, right? But that's the truth is that, again, if we look at that 20-year-old girl that's being flown out everywhere and whatever, when she hits 30 or 40, that's not going to be her life. You know, it's true. It's not going to be her life. It's going to be a harder life than a man's life that has put in the work at 30 or 40 years old. Like he's going to have an easier time. He's going to be the one that girl's going to be jealous of at some point. So it will flip the other way. However, if you're a man and you complain and whine and you spend your 20s or your early 30s whining and complaining instead of actually taking the action, then by the time when it should be your turn at 35, 40 years old, whatever, you're not going to be in a good position, right? But if you stop thinking short term and start thinking long term and think about how can I build my value as a man so that when I hit my 30s or whatever, then I'm going to be super valuable. Then it's gonna turn for you. But that's where guys gotta be thinking. Better than